Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today I am building a cute little cottage for a gardener in the world of Henford on Bagley. I realized it had been quite a while since I built a little farm or a little garden in Henford on Bagley, and cottage living just has some of my favorite plants in the game, so I'll take any excuse to use them. So I am starting off with trying to create a cute garden space. This is not how it ends up staying, but I wanted to be inspired by the outdoor space before I figured out the actual building, and it ends up being a pretty small home. It's a 2-bedroom house. I was thinking this was for a couple who's very into their little farm, their little garden. It's sort of their whole thing, and I don't blame them. I think decorating outdoor spaces is so much fun, and I think these Sims would be a huge fan of today's sponsor. Thank you so much to Merge Gardens for sponsoring today's video. Merge Gardens takes you to a gorgeous, lush garden where there's no end to beautiful flowers and enchanting wildlife. Plus, Merge Gardens is a fun combination of Merge and Match 3 puzzle games. It's the perfect game for anyone to pick up no matter how much time you have to play. Merge Gardens is a fun, casual game where you build your own garden by filling it up with trees, plants, butterflies, birds, ponds, and more, all while trying to solve the mysteries that surround it. Play puzzle games and merge items to restore the garden and to unlock people from different eras trapped in a topiary form. I personally really enjoy the combination of genres. I've always loved Match 3, and getting to explore merging has been so much fun. Plus, you get to decorate a beautiful garden space however you'd like. I really think you're going to enjoy this game, and you can download it via the link in my description or by scanning the QR code on the screen, and it's totally free to play. Thank you again to Merge Gardens for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. So continuing to work on the garden space over here, I'm using a lot of Shall I Edit objects and debug to make this little fenced off portion. These are all in the debug menu from Cottage Living, and I think they look so nice. I picked these because they had an open fence or an open gate on the front, and I thought that looked really cute. And it's just a little bit different than the fences that we already have in the regular catalog, and I decided to add another open fence over on the side. So that way there was one that was heading towards the structure that I haven't built yet, which ends up being a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. The second bedroom is very tiny. Like, the biggest bed you could fit in there if you wanted to is a single bed, but I have it set up as a nursery because I was thinking that the Sims were expecting their first and only child, and I liked the idea of that. There's not really much space to grow on, well, there is on this lot, but maybe not in the house, unless you added a pretty hefty extension. I just thought it was a cute idea that this is their whole life, and they have their little farming area. They like sell produce and grow flowers and do flower arranging. They have some chickens and, you know, some bunnies and birds that visit as well. And they finally decided they wanted to have a baby of their own, and so they're gonna have one little child here. And I just like the idea of this build. I love building things like this where the lot is a little bit more overgrown. I have lots of terrain paint going on. I used a lot of those little grass pieces that look very long, like the lawn you wish you didn't have to mow. I used a lot of that all around this lot, and I just think it ends up looking so almost magical in a way. That's kind of how I've always felt about Henford on Bagley. I really like building here, and it was nice to do so. If there's any other builds you would like to see, by the way, in this world, do let me know. Or in any world, that always is the case, but it was just really refreshing to come back here and build because I feel like I just haven't in a while. Where have I been building lately? I guess in the San Sequoia. I always do a lot of building in Evergreen Harbor, and Copperdale is one of my favorites as well. So I don't know, there's like a few worlds that I always gravitate towards. And obviously when Cottage Living first came out a couple of years ago, I was building here a lot, but I feel like I've stepped away from it for some reason, even though I adore building cottages. So maybe the cottage era is coming back and I'm going to be doing lots of cottage builds. I'm not sure, but either way, this one was really fun. So if this is the only one I do for a while, that's okay. Anyway, on the front here, I am just trying to figure out how I want this to be laid out. I knew I wanted to have that barn over on the side, the barn door. That is from, oh goodness, what is that from? I want to say that's the Industrial Loft Kit. I thought that would look really nice and kind of give that barn vibe, but also it's not like super outdated. It's a little bit modern, and this whole house is supposed to be kind of a combination of styles. It's one of my favorite ways to build in the game. So there's some older elements, and I just ultimately wanted it to feel cozy and like a realistic home. And I think that's what I achieved with it. There's definitely some older items as well as some more modern fixtures. And I think it looks super cute in the end. I also put a lot of wisteria on the outside of this house, which was one of the items I was most excited about with cottage living as well. It's just so beautiful and adds so much texture to the outside of a build. I love overgrown things anyway, so I was very excited to add that. And here is when I'm realizing I think that these windows from Werewolves are going to be perfect for this build. They match the swatch of this door from Cottage Living, and I just think they look so pretty. And I haven't used them a lot outside of building something for a werewolf, so I was very excited to find a use for them. It's kind of fun how some of the items you get for specific packs like that, where it's like maybe an occult like werewolves or vampires, how those items can actually be super useful in other builds that aren't pertaining to that topic. I'm always happy when I find new uses. So I used a lot of werewolves in this build. I end up using some flower boxes from there. I'm trying to think what else. There was a few items that I kept gravitating towards and realizing that I was using a lot of it, and I was quite happy with that. It's good for a lot of things. A lot of the items from Werewolves are more run down, but there's also just some really nice pieces that are a little bit more industrial, rustic, like a mixture of those two. And depending on what you're going for, that could be very helpful. And I think this house has some more rustic elements to it, given that it's like this little farmhouse. I don't know if it specifically looks like a farmhouse, but it is a house on a tiny farm. So I'm going to call it a farmhouse. I'm not sure if that's like the correct terminology for it or not, but anyway, over here you can see there's that little birdhouse. I think I placed that down a while ago, but just starting to do some landscaping around it. I think that item and the little trunk that I have towards the back of the lot that the bunnies can come out of are so cool. I love it so much, especially the bunnies, because I love rabbits. I have 2 of my own, and they're just an animal that I really, really appreciate. But I was really excited when I was taking some screenshots and that little fly-in shot I do in the beginning of each video, that the birds coming out of that were so active and they like flew across the screen. I did not plan that at all, and it was just such perfect timing, so I was quite happy about that. But anyway, I just got some pathways up to the door. There's also like a little driveway here, even though it doesn't really meet up to anything since we're kind of in the middle of the woods in Henford on Bagley. Most of the lots are like this, unfortunately. But I thought it still looked cute, and then I could put this truck here and put a bunch of flowers in the back. Maybe they're bringing them somewhere to sell. I was thinking, like I said, that the Sims, their whole life is their little garden, their little farm, so they probably make all of their money off of selling their goods here, their flowers, their fruits and vegetables. So that's what I ended up doing there. And here, these are just from Debug, some lettuce. I just wanted it to look like there was something actually growing there without having to plant things without you having the decision, because I'm assuming some of you will probably want to download this build. So I figured if I planted things, then you wouldn't have the experience of planting what you wanted, whereas you could just delete those lettuce in the back or sell them or what have you. But you could go ahead and just use all of those planters out there to go ahead and grow whatever sort of oversized produce you would like. There are so many, and I was so excited when Cottage Living came out. Mostly about pumpkins for whatever reason. I think that's my favorite thing to grow, probably because it's heavily associated with one of my favorite holidays being Halloween. And I love that we can actually make pumpkin patches now. I know that's very much the wrong season, but that's okay. I am trying to make the outside of this look a little bit more spring-like. Now I added some more pink flowers all around. We also got some like bags of soil and stuff to take care of the garden. I also opted to change out one of the fences over here for this one, which is so cute, or one of the gates. There's a couple of open ones in Show Live Edit Objects, and I just thought it was so pretty. I also tried to add some more of these garden plots over here, but they didn't look quite right, so I ended up adding some like gardening boxes instead, which I think worked better in this space. One thing I didn't add that would probably have been a really cute idea, and I don't know why I didn't add it because I was thinking about it and then I forgot, was Patchy. Patchy the Scarecrow would have been perfect on this lot, but for some reason I didn't add him. But maybe that's okay, because sometimes Patchy can be kind of scary. He just all of a sudden comes to life, and it's kind of terrifying, but he's also awesome. He'll help you take care of your garden and just like help in general. So that might be something you want to add if you download this build. He's from Seasons. So there is a fun scarecrow man that is a very helpful guy. Anyway, if you do like this build and you would like to download it, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi, and it should be up there now. But if there is ever any time that you see a build is not up there when I say it is, please just let me know. A lot of times I forget to upload it before I upload the video, and then I'm not home, and I always feel so bad, but please let me know and I will get it uploaded as soon as I can. So apologies for that if this is for some reason not up yet, but it should be under my EA ID. So yeah, over here I'm just extending out the house by 2 tiles on the top and the bottom to add a little bit of extra space so I can have the tiniest bedroom imaginable over here. It's very, very small, but I thought it was better than not having the second bedroom. Of course, you could get rid of the second bedroom, turn that into a bathroom or a tiny office, or keep it as hallway space, storage, whatever you'd like. But I thought having a very small nursery would be a fun idea, and I'm quite happy with how that came out. So that was a cool decision in my opinion. And I've also just been really enjoying creating nurseries ever since we got the infant update, and of course growing together. So it's always nice to include some of those in the builds. Anyway, when you first walk in, you are in the living room, and I love that there's like a little step down into this space. I tried to make it super cozy. There's a lot of green tones in here. I also end up having a gallery wall up above the sofa of a variety of things, mostly like flowers and like farm-esque things, like, you know, all of the things that the Sims really, really care about. But I have a couple of other things as well, and I just wanted it to look really cute. Oh my gosh, the chicken, he's so cute. Or the rooster? I think it's a rooster. But like lots of flowers and stuff. We have a nice coffee table in here, some hanging plants. And then, oh, another thing from Werewolves was this trunk over here that I put the TV on. I think it's technically a dresser, but it's so pretty and it just felt correct for this house. So I needed to use it there. So I did, of course. And then I should be adding some more decorations over by the front door, like a place to hang up your coat, but it also has gardening supplies there. We have like a little shovel and a watering can. I have baskets of blankets and games and stuff in here. I wanted this space to feel pretty lived in. These Sims have been here for a while, pretty established. I think they are probably having a child a little bit later than the typical. I was thinking they've been here for a very long time, and it's been either a very long decision on whether or not they want to have kids, or they always wanted to wait until they were older, or maybe there were some issues in, you know, getting that family started. I'm not sure what the storyline is there, but I was thinking that they weren't like very young. They have probably been living here for a while and been a couple for a while, and I just liked that storyline. So anyway, over here is the kitchen, and I am adding a bunch of counters in the kitchen. I mean, obviously, but these are from the Jungle Adventure pack. They're some of my favorites. I really do enjoy them. So I am just adding all of the upperhead cabinets. I liked adding this sort of shelf piece that came with Jungle Adventure as well that has some plates and glasses hanging from it. I feel like that just adds a little bit more of a personal touch to the space. And we have this sort of island. I wrap it around here though, so it's not quite an island anymore. It's more like a U-shaped kitchen. But I thought that that was a good use of the space, and we end up having some like seats to sit at the island, so that way your Sims can actually eat in the kitchen if they'd like to. I also end up putting a laptop on the island counter, so that way there is a space in this house for your Sims to use a computer, because I didn't add an office space for whatever reason. A lot of times I don't know why. I guess because unless you have like a work from home job, which I guess a lot of people do, but a lot of people still just use laptops on the couch. But unless you do something like streaming or have a business you run out of your house, a lot of people just use laptops. So I find it kind of odd just throwing a desk in a corner with a computer on it. I mean, that's what I had growing up, but I feel like I don't see that as often anymore. So for some reason, I don't add that often. But let me know if you just have a computer, like a family computer in your living room. I'd be very curious, because I feel like I never see that anymore, but I could be wrong. Let me know. I do add that a lot in The Sims, but I didn't in this one, and I think that's okay because I was able to add a laptop. Although I wish the laptops looked and worked a little bit more like the ones in The Sims 3. In The Sims 3, when you put them down on a surface, they're already closed, and they can close, open them up, put them in their inventory. They can sit on the floor with the laptops. I just thought that they were so much better in The Sims 3. So, I don't know. In The Sims 4, they just place on a surface like a regular laptop, or like a regular computer. They just look like a laptop and they don't close. So I don't know why I started talking about that, but there you go. Anyway, moving on into the dining room space, I opted to put a fireplace in here as the chimney is right outside of this space, and it worked quite nicely. I also brought in some more yellow in this room. I kind of took that from the pillows and the blankets in that basket in the living room, and I decided to add more of it to this home in the chairs in the dining room. I really enjoyed adding that bit of color because I felt like everything else was so brown and green. So adding that pop of yellow, I feel like really brightened up the space and made it feel a little bit more like cozy, realistic, and fun. I don't know. I imagine this is like a really happy little family, and I just liked representing their space that way. But this is the downstairs bathroom. I don't think I show the upstairs one. It's pretty much the same, except I have a standing shower instead of a shower tub combo. But they're very similar, and it's an ensuite, the one upstairs. It's for the primary bedroom, so it will be in the screenshots, so no worries. And of course on the gallery as well. But it's pretty much like this one. Very simple. Has a couple of touches that match the cozy style of the rest of the house, but mostly modern. And then this is the primary bedroom. I used this bed from Cats and Dogs, which I think is so pretty and fits the style of this home perfectly. I also used this dresser from City Living, which I never use, but it's so pretty. It's just a lot of the swatches are difficult to use, this one included, but I thought that it worked for this home since I was kind of mixing styles together. So I was quite happy with that. And I just get a couple of knickknacks up on the dresser and a plant in the corner, and I think a couple of mirrors in here as well. I also struggled with trying to figure out what to put on the walls because they just felt way too empty. So I'm gonna figure it out, but it's gonna take me a little while. Although I probably cut a lot of that out. I do end up putting some of the bathrobes on the wall by the door that's gonna lead into the bathroom, and a couple of these little bags as well. And then what do I put over here? Oh, I put a Cats and Dogs painting. That makes sense. I also have a couple of those in the hallway, but this is going to be the nursery. As you can see, it's very, very small. There's enough space for the crib, and that's about it. So I just grabbed that. It's very nature themed, which I thought made sense for this lot. I end up having one of the decals from Growing Together on the wall as well that has like the tree with the little animals in it. It's so cute. And I got like a stuffed animal in here as well. And I will be swapping out that dresser for the new clutter item from Base Game that just has like diapers and stuff in it. I just thought that it worked better for this space. And you could always change that out for a dresser if you prefer. But that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified of when I upload. Thank you so very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed those screenshots, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.